Howdy and good day. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to do our SketchUp tutorial for the week and all the good stuff that comes with it. We're going to be drawing a handy dandy pencil holder, and if you were in my class in grade 7 or 8, you will have made one of these, and it's a very long running tradition in Artie Parker to make a beautiful pencil holder for your junior high projects. Anyhow, we're going to learn using that to do some modeling in SketchUp. So let us get into SketchUp for schools. Okay, so we'll get into the edu.sketchup.com app. Let it load up here. It'll ask you some questions. Okay, about. I'm going to create new. All right, and here's what we get. All right, wonderful, awesome. Oops, yes, beautiful. There's a dude here, okay? So we're going to erase that guy. So we're going to just hit E and delete him. E is a shortcut. If you type E on your keyboard, it pulls up the eraser, okay? Here's the select tool. I'm going to go over a few things about navigation. So we have a 3D world here. It is a if you've done the other tutorials, you'll be familiar with it a bit. It is three-dimensional environment here, and we can draw things. So let me start by drawing a box so that you can just get a feel for it, okay? Yeah, and I'm going to talk about some navigation now. We have in the other videos learned about rotation tools. These tools down here, rotate, pan, zoom, and these buttons you can push, right? And if I click, I zoom in and out here, okay? And now I go down here again and I can choose my orbit, and now I can click and orbit. Very nice. Ooh, yeah, excellent. Now we can go here to pan, and that moves it side to side. And that's all fine and dandy, and it's great to do that, and they're all right here. Great. However, there's a quicker way to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. What you'll need is your mouse, all right? And with your mouse, you've got 3 buttons, right? You got your main left click button, and you got your right click button, and you got your scroll wheel in the middle. All right? So the shortcuts are to zoom, roll the scroll wheel. Roll the scroll wheel, and you zoom into wherever your cursor is. So I'm going to zoom in on that corner and roll it forward, and I zoom in on the corner. Isn't that amazing? Oh wow, awesome. Now the other thing we can do is orbit with the mouse button. Did you know that this little scroll wheel here is also a button? And if I click it, it pulls up the orbit option. Okay, I don't have to go down and click anything. And now when I move my mouse around, it orbits, okay? It's a little hard to do that on the palm of my hand, so I'm going to demonstrate here. Click the middle button and I can orbit around my thing. I can go all the way upside down or all around. 3-dimensional, right? Okay, the other thing you can do is with that orbit option, you see how I'm orbiting? And now you notice on the bottom over here, where my, watch that, when I click the orbit, it says drag to orbit, shift equals pan, control equals suspend gravity. The shift is the one I want you to look at, and watch what happens when I hit shift here. I hit shift, and now suddenly I'm not orbiting anymore, I am panning back and forth. So it's like I'm moving it side to side without orbiting. I let go of the shift and I start to orbit. So that's a little modifier key you can push to help navigate yourself around. You can do that all with the mouse. Zoom in, rolling, click the scroll wheel and to orbit, and click the scroll wheel and push shift to pan side to side. All right, so that's cool. That's how you get around. So practice that. Get in the habit of using that. So I've made a fancy cube here. What I'm going to do is hit spacebar, and spacebar is the same as selecting this arrow, and that's the select. I'm going to click and drag over my whole drawing, and I'm going to hit delete on the keyboard, and that will get rid of my thing. So we're going to start to make our pencil holder here. So follow along with these directions. Go to the rectangle. Okay. And I'm going to go here and drag out. I'm just going to click once and drag out. Then I'm going to go 6 inches, comma, 3.5 inches, enter, and that makes us, holy smokes, a little tiny rectangle way down there, right? That's fine. That's because that's the size it actually is. It's the scale. If we had our dude there still, the guy standing here, it would be this great big thing. So this is actually the size you want. So you just zoom in, roll your scroll wheel in there to get close. All right, we've got our super duper rectangle here. That's going to be the base of our pencil holder. And how are we going to make that three-dimensional? We're going to use the push-pull tool right there. Push-pull. Now you see the little arrow there? Now, hit spacebar to get back to select. And now push the P, select P on your keyboard, and that gives you the shortcut without having to go over here and click. You can just go push P on this keyboard and voila, you have your push-pull option. So I'm going to click on that. Oops. Click once and let go. Like just click, don't click and drag, just click once. Pull it up, hit 1 and enter. All right, that's 1 inch. All right, nice, hey? Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Now, we want to make this into a group. Why do we want to make this into a group? Because we're going to be putting the top part on our base, and we don't want them to be stuck together. The way to do that, hit spacebar to get the select one. Drag a box right over top of the whole thing. Right click, make group. Now this is a group in that all those lines and all that stuff are all bunched together, and in order to change that you have to edit it by right clicking and hitting edit group. But we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is draw our top part here. Okay, so to do that, get our rectangle tool, go to the edge of the group. You see how it snaps in there? Edge of the group, we're going to drag over till it snaps to the other side. And what we're going to actually do is we're going to hit 1, we're going to type 1, comma, 6, enter. Okay, 1, comma, 6, enter, and now we have made a rectangle on our group there. Now that is going to be this piece, okay? Now you notice down in the corner here, there's measurements here, and when I click and drag, it's waiting, or when I just click and move around with the wheel, it's waiting for my input. Comma separates out the dimensions, so 1 with the one direction, 6 the other direction. Hit enter and it goes there. Now, this is our beautiful, wonderful pencil holder, but we need some 3 dimensions to it. But before we do that, we're going to make our circles. And this is where, so we've learned about push-pull, we're going to learn about moving and copying now. Okay, so let's go back to the rectangle here. We're going to choose circle, and we're going to put our circles along the top. So we're going to make these circles, and we're going to do that before we pull it up. So check this out. On the end, when you bring your circle tool over any line, it kind of snaps to the lines that are around it. You see how it snaps? End point there, it says. And you're going along here and it snaps midpoint. Oh, okay, it turns blue. You go here. Oh, cool. It turns, oh, green, end point. So it snaps to help you get more, be more precise with your drawing. So we're going to go here to the midpoint. Okay, now as we come out here, you see that little red line? That is telling us, that we're lined up, we're centered on this rectangle that we just drew. So I'm going to click and open up. Now I want to make this to be 3/8 of an inch diameter from end to end of the circle, from side to side. So half of that is my radius. That's what we need to enter. So that would be 3, enter 3/16. Now I didn't have to put my cursor down to where the radius thing is entering there. I just simply type it. It's ready. It's waiting for that. 3/16 and hit enter. Now I have made my super duper circle there. Now we need to make those things all along here. So I could go like this and make them, and see how it repeats. It repeats the last dimension that I entered, except for something that, oh my goodness, they're not even spaced evenly. Ah, this is terrible. Okay, not a big deal. What we can do is erase those. So hit E, or go up here to the eraser. You can type E on your keyboard and that pulls up the eraser. Alright, and I erase those last ones. Now I have this one I'm going to leave. Now I want to go to my select tool, and I'm just going to select the whole thing. All right. Now we're going to do something called move and copy. Okay. Now move is this tool down here, right there. Click it and move. Okay. And we're going to go right to the middle. So if you hover over the edge and then go to the middle, it will snap to the center. Now click it, and now you hook on. Okay. And I'm starting to move it here. Now the cool thing about this is one of the things. If you look at the bottom of your screen, it says pick 2 points to move. Control equals toggle copy. Okay, so that's the one we're going to look at, is toggle copy. So I want to hit Control. Okay, so if you're using a Mac, I think it's one of is it Control? I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of the buttons at the bottom there, bottom underneath your Shift key. Hit Control and look at that, it makes a copy. So now I have a copy of this thing. So I can go like this now, and I can go here and click and move and click Control and make a copy. And I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to find the center, click, hit Control, and oh shoot, they're not even evenly spaced still. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to erase those and try this again. All right. Now this time it's going to work. Select the whole thing, select the circle. Now this is where it's a bit magical. Pan over so it's in the center again. And I'm going to get rid of my... Okay, so we want to have these things evenly spaced down here. And now we're going to go to the Move tool. Going to find the middle. We're going to go click and drag, hit Control, and make sure it's locked in there on that red line. If you're out like this, it's going off at a funny angle. When it clicks and you see that red line, it means you're lined up. And we're going to go here and eyeball it to be evenly spaced from either end. You could measure it if you want to. Okay, now once you click, don't touch anything. All you have to do is hit the divide symbol above the number 8 on your number pad, divide symbol, and then a number, say 4, enter. Ta-da, look at that, nicely evenly spaced, except for I want more than that, so I'm going to hit it again. Divide 6, enter. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go for more. Divide 7, enter. Oh yeah, that's more like it. I like it, I like it. And that's great. So what we have here is an awesome pencil holder, except what? It's lacking some 3 dimensions. So we're going to turn this thing 3-dimensional, and how are we going to do that? We're going to use our push-pull tool. Push-pull right there, or hit P on your keyboard. Now, go right over top of this, click once, and lift up, and now look at what happens. We're going to now type in 3, enter. And that gets us our pencil holder. That is, so as we pulled it up, you notice since we made those circles first, those circles stay part of the, they don't get pulled up with it. Only the part around it gets pulled up, and it makes the holes as you pull it up. Okay, before I get too far along, I'm going to save this as SketchUp PH, or pencil holder. Okay, so let's go right there and hit select. Great. So save it wherever you want. Make sure you remember where you saved it, because when you go to upload this into our Google Classroom, you're going to want to know where you saved it, right? Okay, now before we go too much further, we're going to group this thing. So highlight that top part that you just made and say make group. Okay. So now check this out. We have made a pencil holder. Now, say I don't want it there. Well, I can move it. How did I get that so fast? I didn't even go over here and click M. Click the move thing, you click M, okay? There's all sorts of little keyboard shortcuts in SketchUp. You can click M. And now, look at this. I can move this whole thing around. Woo, yeah, awesome. Okay, we're going to put it right here. Let's put it right in, more or less in the middle. Right there. Actually, we could put it right in the middle by going here, and it'll find midpoint of each side. Isn't that a cool looking pencil holder? Now, something I want to show you something else I want to show you is, oh, actually we did that already, the copying along the top here, how we copied those holes for the pencil holder, right? That's a cool tool. Move, okay, and first, so we're going to make a few copies of the pencil holder. We don't have to draw that a whole bunch of times to get a bunch down here. So you select the tool, the thing you want to copy, you hit move, okay, click on the corner, start to drag it, hit control, and look at this, you start to get copies. Now this is cool because you can click it, and now before you do anything else you can hit divide 2, enter, and there you get the copies. But actually I don't want to do a divide. You can also hit multiply, that little star symbol above the 9, hit star symbol 9, enter, and look at that. Now it multiplied out a whole bunch of them. Look at that. That's a lot of pencil holders. Now we can, before we do anything else, can we still do something? Divide 5, enter, yes. We got a whole bunch there. So we're going to go multiplied by 5, so we get 5. So before you go clicking around, you can hit divide and a number, and that'll divide the distance between them, or you can hit multiply, and that'll add them by that distance. So that's how you can get equal distanced things. Isn't that cool? So I want you guys to do this drawing, okay, and I'm going to get rid of these by selecting and deleting. Now I've got my single pencil holder here, okay. Now I want you guys to do something else. I want you to do another little drawing with a push-pull or something and experiment with that copying. Ooh, so I'm going to do it with this. Actually, let's I'm just going to make another circle here, push-pull, and look at that. We'll make that, and then we're going to push this thing down and make some sort of little thing like that. Okay, I'm just doing this for fun to show you what I want you to do. Select it, and you guys make something. Try it. Try something to make something like you guys have done already. We're going to select the move, okay, and we're going to play around with this whole copy thing. Hit control to make a copy. Control click, and then times 50. Oh boy, this is going to be crazy. Holy smokes, that's bonkers. Wow. Or divide by 3, enter, and it puts them all really nice and close. Okay. Now what happens if I get really far out? Ah, shoot, I don't know where I am. My model's gone. Here's a little trick. Down here to the bottom corner, your orbit thing, and at the very bottom there's a thing called zoom extents. Click that and it brings you right back. Ta-da, so you can't get lost. Okay. So we've learned about navigating with our scroll wheel, clicking to orbit, rolling it to zoom, and shift clicking to pan. We've learned about pushing and pulling, okay, and making rectangles and circles here if we did that. And we're going to go, oh, I already did something, so it's changed. I've got those, and we've learned about moving and copying, okay, so the control modifier for copying. So I want you guys to do something like this, make a few copies of things so I can see that you've got a handle on that copying or dividing a distance. Okay, I want to see both. Do a few models of something, just simple, whatever. Play around with the push-pull thing on a rectangle, or draw some lines and do some weird shapes like this, for example. Alright, and then push-pull that. Ooh, yeah, nice. And then do another line thing. I'm not sure if I can push-pull that because, no, I can't because it's not a round thing, but I could up here. Line. You can't push and pull on a round surface, but here I could do something. Okay, push-pull, so just play around with it a bit. And then what you can do is select it. Okay, and then move. And control to copy, and times 2 equals, there you go. So you can see how it's so easy to make copies, and they're equally distanced exactly apart. So play around this a bit. I want to see your pencil holder that you drew, and then some other stuff that you goofed around with learning that moving, copying thing. Okay. One more little tip up here in the corner. Over here you see this this instructor. If you're lost on any of these tools, click the instructor here. It's the little graduation hat, and it will tell you how to use the tool. Okay, so it will give you the 411 on how to use it. All right. So make sure you save this and submit it with this assignment.